Hello, hi everyone. My name is Brandon, and the book that I chose to review is called Strengths-Based Leadership. It is co-authored by Tom Rath and Barry Conchie. Tom Rath is a very successful author, having many of his books reach the #1 bestseller for the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, and also Amazon. He is currently serving as a senior scientist, consultant, and advisor for Gallup. He has served as the vice chairman for VHL, which is a cancer research organization. Lastly, Tom holds both a BA and an MS in psychology. Next, we have Barry Conchie. Barry is the founder and president of Conchie Associates. He was a senior scientist and the former head of Gallup's Global Leadership Research and Development. Barry has over 35 years of leadership and executive leadership experience. Let's begin by looking at the key findings of a study which included 10,000 participants and over 50 years of data collected by Gallup. There were 3 points which stuck out in this study of leadership. The first point is that effective leaders always invest in strengths. What this means is that leaders actively uncover their employees' strengths and work on developing them. The next area of interest revolves around the teams assembled by these leaders. They always made sure to surround themselves with the right people to maximize the potential of the group. Lastly, these leaders understood and were sensitive to the needs of their employees. An interesting quote from the book is as follows: "A leader needs to know his strengths as a carpenter knows his tools, or as a physician knows the instruments at her disposal. What great leaders have in common is that they truly know his or her strengths and can call on the right strength at the right time. This explains why there is no definitive list of characteristics that describe all leaders." This quote was taken from Dr. Don Clifton, who was a major influence on both Barry and Tom. Dr. Clifton saw the importance of leaders understanding their own abilities and working to develop their own strengths before those of their employees. The book highlights the domains of leadership's strengths. We are able to see the different types of leaders and gain a better understanding of what type of leaders we are. The first domain is executing. These leaders make things happen. They can hold on to an idea and make it a reality. The next domain is influencing. Leaders in this category help their teams to reach a larger audience. They sell the ideas of the team not only internally, but also externally. Third, we have leaders who excel in relationship building. These are the leaders who hold teams together like glue. They are able to create groups in which each member complements one another and increases overall productivity. Lastly, we have the strategic thinking group. Leaders with this trait tend to focus on the future. They think about what could be and how they can help their team make decisions to reach that future. Once we determine our own leadership traits, we can move on to the next step, which is maximizing a team. As stated before, it is important that we surround ourselves with the right people. It is not always wise to choose people who resemble ourselves. If everyone on a team only agrees with the leader, then no discussion can be had. No change will occur. It is better to recruit brilliant, talented individuals without worry of being undercut. Instead, help and mentor these individuals, allow them to grow and to develop their unique abilities. Both individual and the team will benefit from this greatly. In the book, we were given examples of real individuals who embody the different domains of leadership, and hear about the struggles that they faced and overcame. The first example is Wendy Kopp. She displayed the executing leadership trait. She found a need in education and through determination was able to overcome the obstacles in her way. In just 1 year, she was able to assemble a team and raise $2.3 million and founded Teach for America. The next example can be seen in Simon Cooper. He falls into the influencing domain. He is the former president of the Ritz-Carlton. When he joined the company, he did not want to follow in the footsteps of his predecessor. He did not want to settle and simply keep the status quo of an already impressive business brand. He instead chose to expand the clientele and pursue a global presence. He further increased the brand's popularity through the selling of private residence and timeshares. He continually sought ways to improve the guest experience and to increase the influence of the brand. Our third example is Mervyn Davies. He was a man who excelled at relationship building. He is the former chairman of Standard Chartered Bank. And in a time when banks sought to replace people with technology, he instead chose to invest more time and money into his employees. He sought open communication with his employees when most chairmen were cautious about what they said. In fact, he was probably overly communicative. Um, by this, he would send daily emails to every member of his leadership team, and every month he sent an email to all 75,000 employees as a way to connect with them. He felt that it was important that they all were kept in the loop as to the direction of the company and the thought process of the one in charge. He took ownership of his own mistakes and freely discussed it with his staff so that they could learn from and try to avoid them. Our last example is Brad Anderson. He was a strategic thinker. He used focus groups to receive feedback from consumers to better understand their wants and needs. In a different era, when all retail employees were based on commissions, he noticed that many customers felt intimidated and harassed by constant sales pitches. He looked at grocery stores and how they allowed customers to freely browse and search for what they needed uninterrupted. He revolutionized the retail industry when he applied these behaviors to his company. Although there was heavy opposition to his idea, Anderson felt that he needed to focus on the future. He chose not to look at the profits or the losses of now, but instead at the industry's future as a whole. Customers were no longer hounded by employees, but instead allowed to browse freely and in peace. Over time, this simple change saw a major increase in profits. The second half of the book delves deeper into the domains and focuses on the different themes found within each one. The book actually comes with a code that you can use to take the Clifton Strength Test. This is a series of 170 questions used to determine your 5 strongest themes. I was actually curious about my own themes, so I took the survey, and these are the results I got. My 5 largest themes are as follows. From the executing domain, my themes are responsibility, deliberative, and consistency. In relationship building, I have the relator theme, and then lastly, from the strategic thinking, I have the analytical theme. After saying all of that, I believe that the book is definitely worth a read. If you're trying to gain a better understanding of yourself and your strengths, the book provides you with a lot of knowledge that will help you not only in your own personal life, but at work as well. It will help you to better serve your employees and become a better leader who will lead them to success. And that's it. Thanks, guys, for listening to my presentation.